ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا إنه من يهد الله فهو المهتد ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن سيدنا ونبينا محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم عبده ورسوله يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما إخوة الإيمان السلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته.
We give thanks to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala who has given us another opportunity to gather here this afternoon for another Salatul Jummah. Today being the blessed day among the days of the week. Today is the 27th day of the holy month of Zulhijjah, year 1444 after the hijrah of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam from Makkah to Medina, which is equivalent to the 16th day of the month of June, year 2023, after the birth of Nabi Isa alayhi salamullah. May Allah, out of His mercy, continue to shower His mercy, His rahmah, His benevolence, His upon the noble soul of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, his household, his companions, and we that were on his path. May Allah guide us aright and establish our feet firmly until the day of Qiyamah. For the past 2 weeks, we've been discussing about the child birth and akiko according to the Sunnah of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And I try as much as possible to bring to a conclusion about this discussion. But I discovered that there is an item which is very important we are supposed to discuss, which I have not discussed. Because my plan was to use today and next week, probably, which are the only remaining 2 Fridays before Eid al-Adha, to discuss about Eid al-Adha. But as Allah wants it, and which is very important to us, to have this discussion at a very reasonable, conclusive level, so that we know whenever we are starting another discussion, we are starting afresh, we won't come back to this one again. So as Allah is going to give us the opportunity, inshallah, whatever I want to discuss about Eid al-Adha, we are going to discuss it next week. No matter how extensive it's going to be, we are going to discuss it next week. We could write a light ta'ala. May Allah spare every one of us in good condition till then and beyond them, with increment in good health and iman. Now, part of what we are left behind with that we've not discussed concerning childbirth is circumcision of a baby that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us. But before discussing that, we've discussed about marriage sometime last year extensively. Those we are supposed to marry and those whom we are not supposed to marry. We've discussed it extensively. That was the reason why I didn't bring it on board before discussion about pregnancy and giving birth in Islam. But there are some conditions in Islam that warrant us, before getting married, that we should critically look into before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will now bless us with a baby. Marriage in Islam is one of the priorities that Islam had encouraged us to prioritize. When a male child or when a man is up to the age that is supposed to get married and is filled to get married, his iman is not yet completed. His deen is not yet completed. Because it's part of the sunnah of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam that we need to fulfill. It's part of the tradition in our Islam that we must observe. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told us in the Holy Quran, Bada Uzbillahi Minash Shaitani Rajim, Fankihu ma taba lakum minan nisa, that we should marry whomever we want among the women that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us. And those are the believing women that we should marry. The condition that must be satisfied before we get married, we all know, because we are not practically discussing marriage now. I just want to call our attention to some things. We have different kinds of marriages in Islam. During the Jahiliyyah period, the way the Arab used to do is that if a daughter in a family has matured, has gotten to the age that she is to know a man, what they used to do then is that the door of the house will be left open. The father to that daughter will now allow males to be coming into his house. So whoever among them comes into the house will have opportunity of copulating with his daughter. So after some time, if the lady is satisfied, if it is 5, if it is 6, if it is 10 of the men that copulated with her, at the end of the day, she will now tell her father that so-so person is the one that I'm interested in. That is how they used to choose husband for their daughters before the emancipation of Islam. So they don't care whomever might have dropped his semen inside the womb or inside the ovary or inside the uterus of their daughter. No matter the quantity of the number of different people that have slept with her, they don't want to know whom his sperm has germinated. They don't want to care. So the lady is the one that will now say, this is the person that I'm going to give this pregnancy to, and this is the person that will be my husband, even if it is 10 or 20 men, male, that have slept with her. That was how they started choosing husbands for their daughter during the Jahiliyyah period. That's number one. Number two, they used to have this belief that if you have an affluent or an influential person in the society and you want your own child to be like that, to have fame, to have wealth in the society, a man among the Arab will now release his wife to go and spend some days with that wealthy man. So that wealthy man will now do and undo with her. After some time, she will now come back. She will be under observation. As soon as whatever the man has done with her germinates and becomes pregnancy, the original husband will now claim it that is the owner of the pregnancy. Because he has the belief that whatever has been planted in his wife is going to do what? Is going to produce the kind of person that slept with his wife. This is part of the belief of the Arab during the Jahiliyyah period. It's like 4. I could only remember 2. When Islam now came on board, he now told us that before you get married, these are the conditions you must satisfy. Number 1, there must be an ijab wa kubul, offer and acceptance. And part of what Quran told us, part of what Sunnah of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam teaches us, part of the tradition that we must imbibe is that when we sight a sister, we don't have the authority to speak with her. How many of us have done that before we got married? How many of us are intending to do that? For those of you that you have not married. When you sight a sister, you're supposed to look for who are the walaya, who are the waliyu, or waliyay, our guardians, our guarantors. You look for somebody to help you speak with them, or you go to them if you have the boldness. That I saw so person, I need to talk to her. If they give you the permission, you go and talk to her. If not, you don't have opportunity to speak with her, and you don't have solitary decision to speak with her. If you have the opportunity and you speak with her and she accepts, that is one of the conditions of tying the knot of a Muslim brother and a Muslim sister. You speak with her and she accepts. Number 2, concept of the wilaya will now come in. That the both parents or whoever is the guarantor, whoever is the guardian of either the male or the female, they must give consent to it. That yes, we are giving out our daughter to this brother. Number 3 is the wali, people that will witness it, apart from the family of the two. Number 4 is the mahar, that we call sadaki. Whatever the woman or whatever the sister intends to get from you is what you give her, as far as it's not beyond your capability. We have some of the Sahaba of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam that it was ordinary ring that their wife asked from them. We have some of them that they ask their husband to recite the portion of Quran for them to use as what? As mahar, as sadaki for them. So today, if you want to marry and your wife said her own sadaki is to buy her Al-Quran al-Karim, it's not a new thing. If your wife says that her sadaki should be what? Should be for you to pay her for Hajj, it's not a new thing, you do that for her. If you say her sadaki is 1 million naira, you need to provide it as far as you are capable. But if you are not capable, you let her know your level. These are the conditions that must be satisfied. These are the conditions that must be satisfied before we get married. Now, we have different kinds of marriages that are happening. The one that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants us to marry. The one that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala doesn't want us to do. One, which is not part of the sunnah of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam that is being practiced, is the one we call Adoption and Misyar Marriage of convenience. Al-Misyar. This marriage of convenience is the kind of marriage that maybe a woman, she doesn't really want a long-term relationship. She will do it in a lawful way, but it's not the husband that will come and continuously be staying with her. That she has the capacity to take care of herself. Maybe she inherited a wealth, or she's a career woman that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless her. She has also a very good source of income that she can take care of herself. But she only wanted a man that they will be calling her name in reference to that man. That Yoruba people used to call maybe Adultery. She is not interested in the man to come and stay the whole year with her. It's not a contract marriage. It's a normal marriage. But she will take all the responsibility. She will be paying the house rent, even if she doesn't have her own personal property. She will be paying the house rent. She can even have the capacity of paying the husband to be giving him salary. I want you to be my husband. This kind of marriage originated from Saudi Arabia. They practice it. But at the end of the day, it used to have a psychological effect, negative impact. Because at the end of the day, the woman might behave the way they used to behave because of their natural instinct. There is no woman that the innate character of a woman will not touch one very day that, yes, I'm the one doing everything inside us, you are just an ordinary man. That is why we, men, we should always pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, always supplicate to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to always make provision for us to be able to cater for our family. If your wife is even richer than you should do more. Even if she is asking you not to do. Because her nature is to have pride on you. So the Misyar marriage is a kind of marriage that a woman can say, yes, I need an husband, we marry ourselves legally. Not an illegal way, but we take care of all the responsibility. Maybe it should be coming once in a week. Maybe it should be coming once in a year. Part of this kind of situation now brought on board an industry that now regulates this kind of activities. It happened in Saudi Arabia. I don't know, maybe it's still existing, but it had happened like 25, 30 years ago. This is a kind of marriage we call Misyar marriage. That the woman will take all the responsibilities. Some of our scholars, they said it's something that is halal. Some say it's haram. But if you look at it as a human being, if we didn't allow our innate characteristics to overwhelm us, we will see that it is good for a man to always be in charge. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told us that Ar-rijalu qawwamuna 'ala an-nisa. We the men, we are the pillar of what? Of the women. So this is one of the type of marriages that our people are arranging. Classically in Islam, is not registered. But in the modern society that we find ourselves, it's being practiced. And we have Majma'ul Fiqh al-Islami that is affiliated to Adoption and Misyar Marriage. Adoption and Misyar Marriage is the world league of scholars. If you are talking about scholars, all scholars in the world that we can say these are reputable scholars that are on the manhaj of Kitabullah wa Sunnatun Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam. They are the one in Adoption and Misyar Marriage. They have different theological understanding. They came from different geographical locations and from different biological backgrounds and cultural backgrounds. They all meet together and they are the one giving us fatwa on what is happening in modern days that did not happen in the olden days, even during the time of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. I'm going to mention some things that were not in existence during the time of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and it's happening now. And Islamically, it's not haram if you practice them. Al-Misyar marriage is one of them. Some of our scholars see it as halal, some see it as haram. But to curb the infidelity in the society so that our women will not become wayward is something that is legally permissible for whomever can exercise patience to do what? To practice it. So whoever amongst us that Allah give the opportunity to become Mujin Ajia, you know, if they know you as Mujin Ajia, that is Ajia that is doing everything at home, they will be mocking you, Kagani Sakari Banza Mujin Ajia. Ajia is the one doing the fueling of the house, is the one paying the house, paying the... If Allah destined you to be like that, there are some men, they will come to this world to come and enjoy like that. And their women might be humble to them. You even know that you talk, Mala Bukadi, Mala Mubarak, do a good Allah Yabani, do a good Nagada, Gachina Baka. Kumashimaze Diga Kamawani Mutim Kore. As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has done it, is best known to him. So whoever fall into that category should appreciate Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and we should not misuse the opportunity. Number two is the one we call secret marriage. Islamically, do you have anything that should be secret? There are some people, they will get married legally. All the sunnah of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam that they are supposed to observe will be observed, but nobody will know about the marriage. Is that kind of marriage, is it legal in Islam? That it might be between the husband and wife alone. And brothers, I want us to know something. It's not compulsory. It's not compulsory that we must have an alim, an imam, where we are doing the solemnization of people that want to get married. It's not compulsory. That yes, imam must be the one to come and do the khutbah and tie them together. It's not compulsory in Islam. The major thing that we need to do when we are joining a brother and a sister together to form a union so that they start building their own matrimonial home is what? Al-Ijabu wa Kubul. Offer and acceptance. And the basic thing there is the mahar. The waliyin that we want is because they should be the witness that yes, we are there. There is nothing that is hidden to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But we should let people see. Yoruba people used to say, Tabani koju Ọlọ́run to, Tabani koju eyan to, koju Ọlọ́run to, or the other way around. Tabani koju Ọlọ́run to, koju eyan to. Nkunche Allah egeni ko, abaruta ne masu geni. Lomi su joma maku shedu. So Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, Al-Il'an means to pronounce. We should pronounce our nikah. Whenever you are doing nikah, you should pronounce it. Let people know that you are doing what? You are doing nikah. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Awlim linukahikum." You should do what? You should do walima for your what? For your wedding fatia. So for him to have said that, it means that anything secretive concerning marriage, you should not do what? You should not do it. That is number 2 type of marriage that our people are practicing. Number 3 is the one we call zuhruf. Zuhruf is the kind of marriage that originated from Egypt. I wouldn't know, maybe it's still being practiced till today, but it was practiced. It was practiced within some set of people, including students. Number 1 is, among these zuhruf is of 2 types. Number 1 is, they will get married. People will be there, but it will not be registered with the law of the environment they found themselves. Islamically, if you get married now, is it compulsory that where you are now, the local government there, must you go and register there? No. Islamically. But if it is something that will later affect you in future, because of the geographical location you found yourself, it's better you do it. That is number 1. Number 2 of this zuhruf is the kind of marriage that maybe one brother just see one sister. Just like that, maybe they meet in school. And some of you are here now, you just saw one sister like that, you just spoke to her, and you just started getting married like that. There is nothing outside that one that you are practicing other than what? Zina. But if you begin carry what? The name of marriage to them and to some jahiliyahs around them. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is telling us all this so that we can protect our Islamic institution. So that bastards will be reduced. There is no how we can eliminate bastards. The way we cannot eliminate poverty. They say poverty alleviation. The people that want to alleviate poverty, don't they have poverty suffering people in their own family? You can't elevate, you can only what? Reduce. There is no how the ulamas, there is no how the scholars want to do sermon, no matter how. Even if the angels come down to come and do sermon, the people that will not believe. Even if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala comes down now and say, I'm the Allah, that I'm there, that I do this, that I do that, we still see people that will confront him that you are not the Allah. So there is no how we want to do. Bastard cannot be totally eradicated in the society. But we should be talking about what Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in the Quran, to reduce the atrocities in the society. Finally, concerning this type of marriages, is the one we call muta. This muta marriage basically used to be practiced by the Shiites. Some Arabs too practice it in those days. And up till now, some are still practicing it. The Shiism that you see, the group of Shiites that you see, they are into 12 clans. And we have another one that is distinctive from them that they call Zayd Shiism. All of them are under the umbrella of Shiism. They are Shiites, but they have different ideologies. But under the same umbrella of whom? Of Shiite. I've explained to us whom Shiites are when we are talking about the massacre of Karbala. The time that Hussein, the son of Sayyidina Ali, was killed. I've told talked extensively about whom the Shiites are. The set of people that we have not talked about that I'm still finding day that we are going to talk about them are the Mu'tazila and the Khawarij and the Aqladiyun. They are another sect that are causing a lot of havoc into Islam. And we need to know about them so that we cannot go and join them. We cannot go and fall into the pit that they are falling into. Mutual marriage is a contract marriage. As some of you have come to this destination to come and work now, you can see a sister, you can see a woman. You now told her, okay, for like 6 months I will be here. I want you to be my wife. After 6 months, the marriage is cancelled. It happens majorly with maybe working class people, people that are business oriented, that do travel up and down, that left their women at home. So for them not to be fornicating around, they will now do a contract marriage, which is called mut'ah. Islamically, this type of marriage is not accepted in Islam. It was practiced then. But now, with the understanding of Quran and with the understanding of Sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, with lot of options that has been given to us, is not acceptable in Islam. So these are the categories of marriages that we must not involve ourselves in. Because basically, we have the marriage that is called Sahih marriage. The marriage that me and you were supposed to do. Anything we call Sahih is something that is good. The other one is Batil. The marriage that is bad, Al-Batil, right from inception, is bad. The other one is Fasid, is void, that we should not do it. The last one is the mut'ah that I mentioned. These are the 4 classifications under the Sharia law of marriages that we can do. Now Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us opportunity to choose the marriage that is sahih. We have married. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has blessed some people, has blessed their wife with fruit of womb. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has not blessed some people. Those that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has blessed, those that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has not blessed, what are we supposed to do? Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will give some people ni'mah. That ni'mah is going to be something that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to chastise them upon on the day of Qiyamah. There are some ni'mah, there are some blessings that you even regret that why did Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give you. Because Allah has given you those blessings as a trial. You now see them, you now start misbehaving. Instead of you to be doing what? To be more humble and be thanking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. From this, it leads us to the concept of, can we do what is being called, scientifically, what is being called IVF in Islam? In-Vitro Fertilization in Islam. From there, can we do what we call adoption in Islam, which we call at-tabanni? And in Islam, among the companions of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, who are those that have done this? Precisely at-tabanni, adoption in Islam. And one of the concepts of what we ought to have discussed is the concept of the circumcision in Islam. Because like 3 weeks ago, a brother met me after the Salat Juma and asked me about the circumcision of a female child. And it was part of the lesson we've been learning for the past 2 weeks. Reason why we could not start another topic today how we have planned before. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgive us of our shortcomings. Inna Allah wa malaikatahu yusalluna ala nabi ya ayyuhallazina amanu sallu alayhi wa sallimu taslima. Alhamdulillah, wa salatu wa salamu ala ma la nabiyya ba'da. We give thanks to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who has given us this opportunity to be here today again. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala count this gathering as an act of ibadah from us. Islam, Allah has definitely defined how we are going to live our life in Islam. In any area, any society we find ourselves. If you are within the midst of the Yahudis, the Jews, if you are in the midst of the Nasara, the Christian, if you are within the midst of the Mushrikun, the idol worshippers, if we are within the midst of the free thinkers, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has told us how we are going to live with them in peace. Now, there are some things that didn't happen during the time of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and it is happening now. How do we go about it? Are we going to say that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam did not complete his message? And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had already told us that very day that Rasul was in Mina, I told him, Al-Yawma akmaltu lakum dinukum wa atmamtu alaykum ni'mati wa raditu lakum al-Islam dinan. Today, O Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, I've perfected your religion for you. I've perfected everything for you. Both the message that you have brought, I've perfected it for you. It has been received as what we Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala want to receive. We have stamped it. We have accepted it. And the act of worship that you have performed, we Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we are pleased with it. And the religion that you have brought to them, that I have given you, and the message I have asked you to share with them, it has been well established. So Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, don't worry, return back to us. If you are saying that there are some instances that are happening now in this our modern age that didn't happen during the time of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, so classically in the Sharia of Islam, we can't get any nas, any ayah in Quran, or any nas, or any riwayah in the hadith. Does it mean that we are not going to find a way forward out of it? Does it mean that the message and the nubuwah of Rasul wa risalatihi were not completed? No. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَيَجْعَلُ مَا يَشَاءُ عَقِيمًا. Whomever me Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala I wish, I can give his wife the fruit of the womb. Whomever me Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala I don't wish, I might not give him. Allah said, I'm the knower of everything that you don't know. Yes, can a Muslim, out of curiosity, that he wants a biological children or one biological children, can he, or is it permissible for a Muslim to go through IVF, which we call In-Vitro Fertilization? There is something we learn while we are doing agri. There is something we call artificial insemination. You collect the semen of one animal and you transfer it to the another animal. Right? That is artificial insemination at our own level then. But medically and biologically now there is an advanced level. All these graduated to the level of DNA. Islamic, or our Islam, or our Sharia has a stand on all this. This IVF of 18, in-vitro fertilization, right? Hadi, the Hausa people call it Hadi, is the collection of a semen from a male that has maybe a low sperm count, right? And collection of the egg, maybe from the fallopian tube of the woman, or her uterus, her blood, or cannot fertilize the semen of the man. It will now be collected together. In vitro means out of the body of the donor, the male donor and the female donor. They will now take it into the laboratory. It will be put in a glass. It will be there being observed for some days. And the female, during her menstrual period, she will be injected medically with some medications during her period while she is passing through her menstrual flow. Day 1, day 2, day 3. Within 10 days, this process will be observed. After this, The semen and the eggs that are mature that has been collected from these both donors will be observed by an embryologist, somebody who has the knowledge of how a baby is being developed in the womb of a woman. These materials, donated from the man, donated from the woman, will be put together under close observation. It will pass through 7 stages. At the 7th stage, another person, whom is an expert, will now go there and observe. And they will do something they call pre-generic screening to know, out of all these substances that were donated, which one has matured that we can now pick and return back to the body of the what? Of the woman. So the process was taken outside, but the development is going to do what? Is going to be developed in the body of the woman. Now, the question is now, is it permissible for Muslim that we claim to be one of them, Mu'min that we are trying to be among them, to go through this process? Yes, this was not practiced during the time of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, but it's being practiced during our time now, and there are a lot of fatwas. This was first happened. It was an incident. The first history, a documental historical fact of this, happened in 1978 in the United Kingdom. The person that this process was used for is still alive today, around 44 or 45 years old now, a female. So when this incident happened, 2 years after, our Muslim brothers in the world, they gathered together, and there is nowhere we get to that we are not going to see Majma' ul-Fiqh, the constitution or the gathering of the jurists of Muslims. These people affiliated in 1980 to the Rabitat al-Alam Islamic that I mentioned the other time, that talk, this is the fatwa that I want to pass on this scientific method of what? Of reprocreation. Is it acceptable? Definitely there's going to be back and front on this. But in 1990, there was a sitting of this group of scholars in Jordan. And it was granted that yes, it was not practiced during the time of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, as far as this process would be genuinely done, because in 1981, it was discovered that one of the doctors that has this knowledge took another woman's egg and used his own semen to fertilize it. So there are conditions associated to doing this or undergoing this what? Procedures or proceedings. One of the conditions that Islam gave to us was that it must be a genuine and a sincere God-fearing doctor that will carry out this what? These activities. Because of what they have experienced with a doctor in US. At the end of the day, they discovered that he has done that for 75 women, using his own semen to mix up with other women's egg that is under his custody. So when the DNA was performed, they discovered that 75 children, he has been their father. You can see how people are cheating people. How is this one going to stand in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? And he had a oath when he became a medical doctor that I won't do this, I won't do that. I will do this, I will do that. Now, a woman that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did not give the opportunity to carry a baby directly with the direct contact as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us the opportunity. You know, Allah told us in Surah Al-Baqarah, Anisa'ukum harisul lakum fa'atu harisakum anna shi'tum. That one is going to be a discussion of another day. Because when the Muhajirun, when they got to Makkah, when they got to Medina, they have a kind of style that they used to use to meet with their women in Makkah. The way they used to sleep with their women if they want to have copulation, they have a specific style. So when they got to Medina, that the Ansar, you know, majority of them, they left their women because they ran out of Mecca. Majority of them, the Ansar were giving them women. So when they want to start using that style for the women of Medina, it became strange and it became difficult for them. So some of these women, they are not allowing the Muhajirun, their husband from Mecca, to copulate with them. Because the style that the Meccan Muhajirun knew, they don't know it. And they said, if they allow them to do it like that, they will have children that their eyes will have cataracts. That's going to be discussion of another day, inshallah. So Islamically, if a woman has given birth to children, and they want more children, and she has problems medically, the Islamic fatwa given in that sitting was that it is allowed for our women to do what? To do IVF. But it must be under strict Islamic compliance. Number 2, a woman that her husband died in a society that she has donated her own egg. The husband has donated his own semen. Both are already in what? In the laboratory. But along the line, the husband now died. The process has not started. And you know, when a man dies, a woman, she's going to perform iddah of 4 months, 10 days. Right? During that iddah, she is still mourning her husband. Even if you are interested in her, you must not talk to her. You wait for her. After 4 months, 10 days, you go and do what? Immediately she's finished, maybe the next day, if you have been targeting her, you go and talk to her. So also if you are in our Sabul Ikram, those that are in Makkah now, those that are performing Umrah now, or within the period of Hajj, anytime you are in Sabul Ikram, we discussed this thing extensively last year. Anytime you are in your cloth of Ihram, right, you must not talk to a woman in terms of love. Even your own wife, you must be very careful in the utterances that will be coming out from your wife's mouth. Not talk of the woman that you are aspiring to what? To marry. You must not do that. Until you remove all the ihram, everything that bound you concerning her, until you drop it before you now be making love advances in a legal way. So, a woman that her husband has died, the relationship, the legal relationship between her and her husband has been terminated. And we know, for this money period, is for us to know maybe she's even carrying something in her belly. So within that 4 months, 10 days, because hadith of Nabiyyuna Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam in Arba'una Nawawi had already told us that inna adakum yujma'u alqawu arba'ina yawman nutfatan, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala used to create us. He gathered us together. Everything that he wants to use to create us, he gathered it within 40 days. The first 40 days, the semen, the egg, everything, fertilization will be going on. The second 40 days, bones and everything associated to bone will be formed. The next 40 days, right, the flesh will cover the bone. We might have matured into an embryo. That is 40, 40, 40, that is 120 days. After that, that is when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala فَيُسَلِ إِلَيْهِ الْمَلَكُ فَيَنْفُوا فِيهِ الرُّوحُ. After that 120 days, that is when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will now send what? An angel to go and blow the soul into that embryo. So if it is not up to 120 days, you are not a human being. Some scholars said if you don't want that pregnancy, actually abortion in Islam is a very critical thing that I don't want to talk about. So any pregnancy you lost before that day has not become a human being. Because in Islam, there is a level of permissibility
for abortion. But on what condition? We are not talking about that today. So a woman that maybe Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is yet to answer our prayer to be able to produce biologically, she couldn't. But they want to go through this IVF process. And in the process, the husband now died. So as soon as the husband died, anything concerning biological development will be terminated. The semen of the husband that has been received will never be what? Will never be used any longer. So what joined her and her husband together, death has taken it away. If she marry here again, if she didn't marry here again, they'll go and meet in heaven and remarry again. Because Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam had already said that our women in this world, they are going to be the leader of the women we are going to marry. Our wives that we marry here, the righteous ones among them, are the leaders of those 70 that they are going to give us in Al-Jannah. So that is why, whenever you want to marry, those of you that you have not married, and those of you that you are anticipating to do masna, wa sulasa, wa ruba'a, look your eyes very well and shine your eyes very well so that you know the kind of woman you are going to marry. If you marry a woman that is giving you trouble here, it's more or less as if you have entered a Jahannama from here. Because life will be very miserable for you. But if you marry a woman, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that this world, Adunya mata'un, this world is a place of enjoyment. It's a place that we have provided good things for you. Wa khairu mata'uha al-imra'atun salihah. And the best of enjoyment you can enjoy in this world is for you to have a righteous wife. So those of you that you have not married, try to marry a righteous wife. Those of you that you have married and they are giving you small problems, try to continue to be managing them and be asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for irshad wa hidayah alayhim. Resolution to my wife is disturbing me, the next thing is to divorce her, to send her away, That's not the best thing. Except if it is leading to act of the fold of Islam or leading to what wants to take your soul. Because Dama, they want you to manage her so that your deen can complete. If you are saying this one is not good, this one is not good, you are saying your wife, only like a woman saying your man just come, you take a poo, only say no ripu no pada sulopo. It's better you continue managing. I don't know what they call Oko in Hausa, right? Ache mata wannan ta mujin wannan ya mutu. To wani zai aure ta. Namiji zai aure ta. Ko bazawara ko me yake ce mata? Ram. Tana ce mujina din na baya so ya mutu, but you don't know, maybe it's an unfortunate people that will come unfortunate person that will come and marry you. So what I'm saying in essence is that whatever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us, we should keep on managing and be asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to guide. Because you that you are saying somebody is not good, are you good? Maybe Allah is managing you, keeping you, that maybe tomorrow you will change. So our women, we need to be managing as far as they are not doing what? They are not ready to kill us. She's not going to Babalawo. She's not fornicating around. And she's not going to church. And she's not going to a shrine. All this, we should continue to be managing everything. May Allah continue to give us the perseverance. So a woman that her husband has died, they can't use the semen of the husband, right? To do what? To fertilize her egg any longer. Islamically, death has terminated that what? Terminated that marriage. So we shouldn't do that. You can see the condition associated to IVF now. Number 3. For instance, a man has 2 wives. And the 2 wives, they are having difficulty in reprocreation. Or one is fertile, the other one is not fertile. There is no any permissibility. It's not permissible in Islam that you should take the egg of woman A and plant it in woman B for the same husband. It's not permissible. I hope we are getting it. Yes, we've accepted that Islamically, to a certain limit, IVF is allowed. IUI, intrauterine insemination, IUI. That one is most basically done on the male. But this IVF is for both the males. So for a man to not say, I know this is my second wife, her own womb is very fertile, her own ovary is very fertile, she doesn't have any medical complication. Let me take the egg from my wife A with my own semen and put it together. After the study, after the pre-generic screening has been done by the embryologist, we now take that of me and that of the first wife and plant it in the womb of woman B. Islamically, is not allowed. All these are the things we need to know before we venture into all this. Number 4 out of it is that in the process, sex for the child can be determined. Sex for the child can also be determined. Islamically, we are asked to leave that to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because medical advancement has reached that they can do it. That the doctor will even ask you, is it a male child that you want? For those of us that we did biology, they will be telling you something X, something Y. You see a cross like this during biology, if you are doing a reproductive whatever. They will ask you, which sex do you want? Islamically, this is not allowed. You should leave Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give you whomever He wants to give you. So, conclusively, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us opportunity through the Rabitatul Alam al-Islami that if we are in difficulty and we want to find a way out, that yes, we want to have our own biological son, we want to have our own biological daughter, we are allowed to do this with some certain restrictions, certain conditions of Quran wa Sunnah to Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. That is that. Adoption in Islam. If you do all this process, yes, you do the natural way, you do the artificial way, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did not say amen. Because all this effort too, it is subjected to the army of Allah, it is subjected to the kun fayakun of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If you pass through all these stages, you spend your resources, you spend your wealth, you spend your health, Allah did not say amen to it. Can we adopt? Yes. Islamically, we can do an adoption. On what ground? And who are those that have done it? Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam also did it, which I have mentioned to us several times. Zayd bin Haris. Zayd bin Haris. He was a slave. He was a slave that the family of his mother and the family of his father, they were having fracas within them. So one very day, the family of his father, some people from the family of the father of Zayd bin Haris, they now saw him, they now kidnapped him. So the kidnapping they are doing in Nigeria today is not just a recent development. It has been happening, right? And the terrorism did not start now. It had happened from the children of Nabi Adam alayhi salamullah, Qabil and Habil. Qabil terrorized Habil. He was the first person to have splitted God on the earth's surface. And that was why Allah told, the angel told Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, right from inception, because there was another creation. There were another set of creation before us. And those ones too, they were cleaning themselves. And that was why the angels told, Allah told the angels when he wanted to create us, that Inni ja'ilu fil ardi khalifa. And they now told Allah, Atajalu fiha man yufsidu fiha wa yasfiku dimaha wa nahnu nusabbihu laka wa nuqaddisu laka qala inni a'lamu ma la ta'lamun. Allah said, I want to create another set of people on the earth. They now told Allah, do you still want to replicate the same categories of the creation that were in existence before, that were killing themselves and splitting blood on the earth's surface. Allah said, you guys, keep quiet. Inni alam wa la ta'lamun. Do you think you are more intelligent than me? You should have the composition that I just shared with you. Not that I wanted your advice. I'm not interested in your advice. And at the end of the day, what was the incident between Qabil and Qabil? Because this one performed a sacrifice, Allah accepted it. This one performed a sacrifice, Allah did not accept it. So the elder brother need to kill the younger brother. That was the first category of human being on earth that committed murder. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling us that all this is not a new thing to us. So Zayd ibn Haris, he was kidnapped and they brought him to a marketplace we call Ukaz in Makkah. They now sold him there. At the end of the day, Akil, she was the one that bought him from Makkah, from the Ukaz market, and brought him for Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam as a slave. After some time, people from Yemen, from the clan of his father, Al-Aris, they came to perform Umrah in Makkah. They now sighted him, and he was clearly different. His physique was different from the Yahudi, from the Quraysh. His physical appearance is quite different. So they now discovered that this must be the child of our brother. This must be the child of our uncle that we are looking for. They went back to Yemen and they told his father. His father now came. On seeing him, they exchanged pleasantries. They spoke extensively. They met Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. They now told Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam that no matter how much you must have used to buy this our son as a slave, we want him to be free today. We are paying you back. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, you should face your child. Whatever you want, I will grant him. And immediately, Zayd ibn Haris, he told his father and the people that came with his father that, my father, I have seen the best of human being on earth. I have seen the best place on earth that I will live. I will never follow you. My father, you can go. Just because of this attitude, just because of this incident, his father and some people, they also accepted Islam. So right from that day, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, I freed him. He will never more, he wouldn't be anymore a what? A slave. So they started calling him Zayd ibn Muhammad. So Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam did what? He adopted him as a son. In Islam, we can do an adoption on conditions. Yes. He adopted him as a son. So when Zayd was growing up, the slave of Abdullah, the father of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, had a slave. They called the slave Ayman. Ayman wasn't a foster mother to Prophet Muhammad because she nursed Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So automatically, when the father Abdullah the father of Prophet Muhammad died, everything belonging to his father will be what? He will inherit it, or he will inherit everything. So he inherited Ayman. Ayman. She was taking care of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. She was taking care of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. She was taking care of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. You now go to a day, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam now said, who amongst you want to marry a lady from Jannah? Because immediately she grew up and Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam grew up, attained to a certain age, he freed her. She now become Al-Mawali. Those we call Al-Mawali or we call Mawla. They are the freed slave. The freed slave that you allow them to go. And they say that we are not going because we enjoy being with you, we stay with you. They now become Al-Mawla or Mawali. The singular is Al-Mawali. The plural is Mawla. So she became a Mawla in the house of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, taking care of. She never breastfed Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam like Amina and Alima. She wasn't. So Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, who wants to marry a woman from Al-Jannah? Abu Bakr already had wife. Umar already had wife. Everybody around, they already had wife. Immediately Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam turned to Zayd ibn Haris. Zayd ibn Haris, are you interested? He said he's interested. Ayman, are you interested? He said she is interested. That was how they got married. Under the same roof of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. They are living together. And at the end of the day, that marriage now produced Usama bin Zayd ibn Haris. Hibun Nabi. The person that has the nickname called Hibun Nabi, the most beloved to Rasulullah. Aside Hassan and Hussein, the most beloved to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is the son of whom? Zayd ibn Haris. So immediately Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam freed him. An ayah came because they had to call him Zayd ibn Muhammad. In Surah Al-Azab, Allah now revealed that every one of you should bear the name of your father. Every one of you should do what? Bear the name of your father. That was when majority of people started knowing that Zayd ibn Haris wasn't the son of whom? Wasn't the son of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He was an adopted son. Majority of us too. Somebody adopted us. Majority of us too. We stayed with some of our uncles. Maybe our father died an early death. And our mother cannot carry our responsibility. They place us under some responsible people. Then, not now. You see some people, the name they are bearing today is not the real name of their biological father. They will be bearing another person's name. Islamically, it's very wrong for an adopted son to be bearing your name, because he can never inherit you. And your wife, maybe she might have given birth to a daughter somewhere, and she now came with that daughter into your house. You can't marry her. We can. A lot of Sahabas, they have adopted children. While we were talking about orphans, I think end of last year, while we are talking about orphans, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said the most blessed house on earth is the house that they have an orphan inside. How many of us have orphans in our houses now? And when our brother died, when our sister died, we promised during the Fidal day. The Fidal, you know, Islamically nothing like Fidal. That we are doing Kwana Boko, Kwana Tokos, Kwana Arbain. Nothing like that in Islam. If you lose your loved one, after 3 days, go back to your work. The only person that you stay behind is our wife, is his wife. Even the husband, after 3 days, she go back to work. And reason why the husband must mourn, the woman must mourn, we have said this several times. In case she's carrying a gestation, she's in a gestation period. A lot of companions of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, they have what? They have adopted children. So every one of us, let's try. It's part of what we can do as sadaqah jariyah. But they must not bear your name. Do whatever you want to do. Lillahi wa rasulihi. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala count us among the successful. Inna Allah wa malaikatahu yusalluna ala nabiyyi ya ayyuhallazina amanu sallu alayhi wa sallimu taslima. Conclusively, abunda muka fada tun yau sura minti uku. Mun magana akan wanda yake nema da kuma Allah bai ansa addu'an su ba. To zamu yaya mu yi na tuturawa da ake ce IVF, hadi. A karbi maniyi namiji, a karbi kwai na jikin matan, a kai shi wani guri lab a cikin asibiti. Zai a biya hada shi. Kuma matan tana cikin haila dinta, akwai wani magani da za a dika shuka mata a jikinta. An riga an karbi kwai din, an karbi maniyi namiji. So akwai wasu abubuwa test ko exam, me exam. Da za a dika yi jawabi ko me gwaji da za a dika yi a asibiti. Akwai gwaji da za a dika yi a asibiti. Tsakanin kwana 10 an riga an hada maniyi din, an hada kwai na mace din. Islam din mu ya yarda mu yi wannan kuwa domin ba yi shi lokacin manzon Allah ba sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Sai na kawo hujja wanda suka taba yi a shekara 1978 978. Fari na farko da aka yi an yi shi a can Ingila a United Kingdom. Na ya wata yarinya ne aka yi kuma har yanzu yarinya din tana rayu. To sai malamin fiki suka taita wannan abu ba bidiya bane, ba wannan dukkan su suna ta zuwa suna ta zagaya Majma'ul Fiqhul Islami 1980 a shekara 1980 sai suka haɗu suka je rabitatul alamin islami a Saudiya. Rabita inda ake ce rabita shine duk gurin su malamin duniya. Muna maganar malamai ba yin mu ba fa, ba malamin angon mu ba fa, muna maganar su Sheikh bin Baz, su Sheikh Salih Usaimi, manyan malamai da suka fi su ma. Kuma wani abu da nake kwanakin nan, Sheikh Ibrahim Yas ma shi ma kamar ya shiga rabita, domin mai ilimi ne. Mu bar maganar tarika, kamar muna maganar Sheikh Dayin Bauchi yanzu, mu bar maganar tarika, muna ga maganar masu ilimi. Mu ci da maganar tarika ba, mu yi maganar ilimi, gashi Allah ya ba su. So irin mutanen nan suna nan a rabita, sai suka zauna suka ce kai wannan abun da ya faru kafin ya zama wani shiriri tsakanin mutane, mu ba da fatawa. So 1980 sai suka ba da fatawa, malamai da iri-iri understanding imani, da iri-iri biological geographical background ko da al'ada iri-iri dukansu suka taru suka ce wannan abu ba laifin ana yi, a karbi mani namiji, a karbi kwai na jikin mata, a ji a hada shi, a ji a yi gwaji, ba wani laifi, amma akwai ka'ida. Domin an ga wani turai a can kasar America a 1980 ya dauki kwai na wani mata ya je hada da maniyi nasa har ya yi mata guda 75. So wani ne asibiti ne za mu je mu yi da ba muka sani ke ba za cuce mu ba da irin wannan. So aka daura wasu ka'idodi ke mu kiyaye in za mu yi wannan. Na biyu, mata da yake maybe Allah ya bata yara amma suna son kari, amma gashi maybe ta samu wani matsala, ko mu namiji ne ya samu matsala, kuma abin da yake kawo wannan maybe maniyi namijin yana zo kankani ne, ba zai sa abin da zai zama na ɗa ba, ko kuma matan fallopian tube ɗinta ko uterus ɗinta is blocked, inda kwai ɗin zai fertilizing, zai yi haɗi, maybe gurin bai da lafiya, abin da yake sa aka yi wannan kenan. To na mace da yake yara da Allah ya bata bai ishe ta ba, tana so, namiji ma tana so, inda akan gaskiya ne an ce za mu yi akan fatawa din nan da aka karanta. Na biyu, na mace da yake mijinta ya rasu, amma riga an karbi, ana so a fara din wannan gwaji din, an karbi mani namiji, an karbi kwai nata, immediately da mun namiji din ya rasu, ba wani al'ada tsakanin su, kuma mutuwa ya riga ya yanka sadakin su, mutuwa ya riga ya yanka aure da yana tsakanin su. If we do anything, it's more or less like we are tampering with the biological process that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have designed. So in mutuwa ya zo, abun da yana tsakanin mu da matayen mu ya kare, sai dai kuma muka haɗu a gaban Allah inda rabu. Ali babu rabo da yara da matayen mu nagari, insha Allah. Na uku, na faɗi na biyu ko? Na uku, na mace da yake ta ce wai ni cikina bai zai iya ya dauki da ba, kuma mu biyu ne a gidan mijinmu, ma ni ne na farko fari na aure, ina da wata da tana bi na ko mu biyu ne a gurin mijinmu, kishiyanta namiji din zai iya karbi kwai jikinta kuma da mai niyi nashi a hada a ji a sa a jikin kishiyanta. Ana ganewa? Islam ya ce ba mu yadda da wannan ba. A dauki kwai na mata na farko da maniyi namiji a ji a hada, bayan na ka gama hadawa sai a ji a sa a jikin mata na biyu, ita ta dauki nauyin cikin din, ba yadda da shi ba. So mun ba da ka'ida za mu yi, amma in akwai maza'i da za a yi abi kuma a samu yara na gari. Na hudu, akwai wasu likitoci da za a tambaye ku lokacin da ana doka maniyin nan baya kwana 10, akwai wani abu ana ce pre-genetic screening. Za a duba haka, wannan ya riga ya hada, wannan ya riga ya hadu, in ya hadu din haka za a dauka kafin a kai cikin matan nan, a mai da shi cikin matan nan, ko za a iya tambaye ka ce namiji ne kake so ko na mace. Allah ya ba tura wannan ilimin nan. So malamai mu suka ce wai kar mu yaka, mu bar Allah subhanahu wataala ya yi wanda zai yi. A kana ce kana so namiji, in namiji ne ya zama shege dan ta'adda fa, in kana ce kar baka so na mace dubi Maryam mama Musa mama Isa waye zai ce Allah zai bayar wannan zai ce Allah bai ba shi da ba Ali ba mu yara na gari insha Allah na karshe domin lokaci ya kure muna magana akan adoption a ce wai Allah duk wannan process Allah bai ansa addu'a ba to zamu ya what is adoption zamu ya mu je mu yi reno ko sai na kawo ni tarihi manzo Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam yanda ya rano ko yo reno Sayyid ibn Haris so a cikin Islam Allah ya ba mu fata mu yi wannan amma duk wanda kuka reno ba za su sunayenku kamar sunana Sayyid yanzu ba zan iya bashi sunana ba zai bi sunan iyayensa ne in kuma bai da iyaye da muka sani mu nemi wani ko sunan manzo Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam mu ce Abdul Qadir ibn Abdullah Abdul Qadir ibn Muhammad ai wannan sunaye Allah ne amma ba wai domin na kawo shi cikin gidana ba ina bashi ci da sha da komi in ce wai lalle sai ya zama Abdul Qadir ibn Saheed la Islam bai yadda ba Allah samu gama lafiya an gane ko karatu da muka yi kenan inna Allah ya'murukum bil adli wal ihsan wa ita'i zil qurba wa yanha 'anil fahsha'i wal munkar wal baghi ya'izukum la'allakum tadhakkarun. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is asking every one of us to do good. Whatever we know that is good, Allah asks us to do it. Wal ihsan, everything that we know that in muna yi haka za mu yi mu tsaya gurin sansa mu ce gashi ni ne nake yi kuma abu alheri ne amma duk abun ne kana cewa yake zuwa mai zuwa abun banza kake yi kai kuma kai ma mutumin duhu ne in kana yi abu asiriri a guje haka za ka so mutane masu ganka wai tajil kurba iyalinmu ba wai yara da ba wai yayanka ko kawanka da yake uwa ku daya uban ku bane ba su bane kawai yake magana ba kuma mazalla ya ce iti aki kulla zikul kurba Allah ya ce duk wanda suna cikin tsakaninku iyalanku ku ba su hakkin su gashi sallah yana zuwa yanzu ba mamaki sati biyu da wani kwana biyu ko kwana uku yanzu za mu saukalle yayin Allah ya yarda ko in muna da rai Allah ba mu rai Allah ka sa ma cikin wanda za su yi a neme su ku da za ku yi tafiya in kun je gida ku neme su ba wanda ya san da zai kare akwai wasu ba za su gama da rayuwarsu a nan Lagos ba maybe ka fara ciwo that you are no more useful to the society see they will not pack you like a packer they now say kai akwai family kuma ba iyayenka a duniya ba akwai wani kakansa ba akwai wani kuma lokaci da kana da lafiya ba ka da wani amfani da kake masu majority of you have opportunity now you are not helping anybody in your family how do you want them to help you when you are nobody again وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون Allah yana gaya mana aikin mummuna aikin duhu zalunci kabilanci duk abubuwa ta'adanci Allah ya ce mu misalce duk wannan abubuwa ba inda zai kai mu sai dai gidan nadama Allah raba mu da gidan nadama Allah ya samu aljanna bi kudratillahi ta'ala next week we are going to talk about Eid al-Adha. I think that's going to be the last Jummah before Eid al-Adha. Today is 27th of Zulhijjah. So that the next one is what we are going to have our discussion on Eid al-Adha. And the animals that we are going to slaughter. Extensively we discussed it last year. For 2 weeks I was discussing just the animals. But we won't have time this year. But this year, the 5 categories of animals that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, if you see them clinged to the gilaf of Kaaba, that cloth used to cover Kaaba is called gilaf. If you see them clinged to the gilaf of Kaaba, kill them. We are going to mention them. And part of one rampant thing that is happening in Yoruba Kingdom, for you people, those of you that used to do it, you carry animal, you carry your ram, they will go and give the ram Igbo, they give him everything, they will not go and be using it for gambling. Where you are going to belong to on the day of Qiyamah, we are going to tell you. Insha'Allah, bi kudratillahi ta'ala. This project that has brought every one of us together, may Allah let us see the light of the day. Amen. Every one of us, we are writing our history on this project. Some have written their own, they have gone. Some have died on this project. Some they've sat there. Some have resigned voluntarily. We were here, we don't know our fate. But we know Allah is going to take us to a better place. Amen. Whenever we are here, Allah let us be a person that will be contributing positively. And whenever we are going to live here, the way we are coming healthy Allah, let us leave this facility here. All the investors, Allah, you know them. Allah, let them reap from their effort. All of us that we are working here together, may Allah protect us and protect our family wherever they are. Our security brothers, they are the ones doing the most sensitive work. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala continue to be protecting you. Popol officers, civil defense, all of you, you know I used to tell you every time. Allah ta'ala insanu, hinu min ad-dari, lam yakun shay'an mashkura. As soon as some of you wear your uniform, you carry your gun, you don't know anybody again. Remember, you are nobody before what you are calling you today. It's better they celebrate you, that you remove their uniform, you drop their gun, that they should pack you like a carcass or your dead body to your family. Every one of us should remember where we are going to end up, so that we are not going to become liability. Some people will become unfortunate while they are on service because of people under you that you maltreated. Every one of us, any power that is with you, remember, one very day you are going to stand in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allahumma izal Islam wal Muslimin, wa zilla shirka wal mushrikeen, damri adaka adadi, mansur ibadaka al muwahidin, birahmatika ya rahmur rahimin. Allahumma ati nufusana taqwaha, wa zakkiha, anta khairu man zakkaha, anta waliyuha mawlaha. Bismillah allazi la yadurru ma ismi shay'un fil ardi wala fis sama'. Raditu billahi rabban, wa bil islam dinan, wa bi Muhammadin nabiyya sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Subhanaka Allahumma bihamdik, ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk.